Hi, this is Teresa Galloway at Appalachian Pagan Ministry. I am one of the volunteers. Today we're going to talk about paganism and the graft. One of the questions that is asked of me for those that are just starting off on studying about Wicca is what books to read. And I have compiled a short list of them. You cannot go wrong reading Scott Cunningham's Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner, which is followed by his book, Living Wicca. It's great starting books. Raymond Buckland has written several books, but the one that I'm thinking of having you start off with would be Wicca for One, The Path of the Solitary Witchcraft. And what I use in classes is Teaching Witchcraft, A Guide for Teachers and Students of the Old Religion. This is written by Miles Batty, B-A-T-T-Y. This is a great book for information and knowledge. And what I'm reading right now is a book by Christopher Panzik, and it is called The Inner Temple of Witchcraft, Magic, Meditation, and Psychic Development. And this, The Inner Temple of Witchcraft, Magic, Meditation, and Psychic Development by Christopher Panzik. This book is for those that are more advanced and is perfect for those that are a little bit more, looking for a little bit more. So what is paganism? Paganism, in a nutshell, is any religion that does not worship the Abrahamic God, such as Christians, Muslims, and those of the Jewish faith. A pagan is one who lives in accordance with the cycles of nature. We can be a polytheistic, which is worshiping of many gods, or monotheistic, which is worshiping one God, or even pantheistic, where God is identical with the cosmos and all forces in the universe is God. What is Wiccan? Is somebody that is referring to the modern revival of witchcraft. Modern revival would be Gerald Gardner, who started Wicca back in the 1940s, 1950s. It came to America in 1963 through Raymond Buckland. A witch is one who lives in the art, science, and the religion of the witchcraft. Now, the difference between Wicca and witchcraft is that, again, Wicca is anything that believes in the read and harm none, do what thou wilt. Witchcraft is those that are that do not necessarily believe in that. Dealing with personal responsibility and taking responsibility of their actions. Now, it is used interchangeably today, the word witchcraft and Wicca, with that small difference of leaving in the read.
Let's go back to the beginning of witchcraft.
Okay, what is witchcraft? Is referring to the practice and art of the craft. Is an ancient nature-oriented religion honoring the old gods. Pre-Christian deities such as Apollo, Freya, Isis, the archetypal divinities such as the goddess and god, Lord and the Lady, without naming names. Most practitioners accept both words and identities, Wicca or witch. The craft itself stresses the individual and personal connection. It is an empowering tradition stressing the ethics of the craft regarding personal relationship and personal responsibilities. No. It is an empowering tradition stressing the ethics of the craft regarding personal responsibility, being responsible for your own life and happiness. Empowerment and responsibility are the heart and true lessons of the craft. We each have sacred space within us. This sacred space is our temple, allowing for our inner power, our intuition, and our connection with the divine. Learning the knowledge that studying the craft brings to the table, such as ritual, spell working, meditation, personal growth, leads us to the temple. They help us to find the road within and enable us to walk our path and build our sacred space. You can work with one pantheon or be eclectic and work with many. We all come from a tradition filled with the mysteries of the past. What's important is to find the path that works for you. There's as many paths to deity as there are people walking them. So there is no wrong path. The path of the witch is one of knowledge and wisdom. The path changes and adapts as new information is discovered. So you can be walking the path and make changes along the way for personal growth. It's a living religion. It's an art, science, and spirituality. When we're talking about the art of witchcraft, it's a system based on the cycles of life. Life is change. Change encourages new expressions of the same patterns and the energies. Change encourages creativity. Each person works with the same principles based on the science of witchcraft, but they each express it differently. Song, chants, drumming, instruments, creating and reading poetry, and drama can be used in ritual. We call our religion the old religion. Many trace their traditional roots back to the early Mother Earth goddess cults of the Paleolithic era. Witchcraft is a spiritual path. You walk it for nourishment of the soul, to commune with the life force of the universe, and to better your own life. It's a daily commitment to renew yourself in the cycles of the earth and to synchronize yourself with the powers of life. It is a path to enlightenment. Witchcraft is a nature-based spiritual practice. All material things are seen as an expression of life. Divinity is recognized in all things, such as land, water, sky, plants, animals, and even people. We're polytheistic as a rule. We worship more than one deity. We recognize the spirit of life running through all things. We believe it expresses itself through a multitude of faces. Imagine, if you will, a disco ball. Each of the little mirrors is the face of the god or goddess. Combined is the polarity of the males and female energies, and creating the yin and the yang, creating great spirit. Divinity in the forms of male and female energies The prime focus of many traditions is the Great Mother, the primal creative goddess we know as planet Earth. For goddesses, the many faces reflect the moon, the night, the ocean. The triple goddess aspect of the maiden, mother, and crone, such as the changes of the moons and the seasons. The goddess energy is portrayed as loving, kind, and life-giving at certain times, but also dark, warrior-like, and vengeful at others. The god and good father has been depicted as the sky, the sun, vegetation, or as the animal lord. The male aspect of divinity also has many faces: the warrior, protector, king, and judge. The god can reveal secrets of magic and light, or surround you with darkness to force you to face yourself. Dual in nature, the Lord of Light, Lord of Darkness, it is one and the same. From these two images creates all the deities of myth. Groups of goddesses and gods from a particular culture are called pantheons. In Western culture, the most familiar is the Greek. The Greeks and later the Roman pantheons were not the only ones, nor were they the first. Civilizations such as the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Celts, the Norse, the Africans, and Hindus all had their own pantheons. Each had some type of mother goddess and father god. The subtle differences became more distinct. Each pantheon had deities to preside over different realms, such as the oceans, the skies, the underworld, agriculture, animals, healing, the moon, the sun, the stars, traveling, poetry, and divination. The list goes on. These common visions are what Jung called archetypes. Archetypes are recurring symbols that can be found across many different cultures. Each culture had individual names for an archetype, as represented by a different goddess or god. Each culture wove stories and myths involving the deity, but the basic concept was the same. To those who work with the archetypes, they are living conscious energies, being of great power. Example would be the primal mother archetype as Gaia in the Greek pantheon, Danu of the Celts, Isis of the Egyptians, and Pachamama of the Incan Indians. That's all I have for you today. What I would like to leave you with is this: may you always follow your path with a sense of wonder, safe in the knowledge that you are always guided along the way. Be well.